Welcome to the latest Sports Shoes interview, and with me today I have a man who requires little or no introduction. Joining me is Kilian Jornet. Kilian, welcome.
No, thank you for having me here. Pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And how's things with you? How's the family? How's Emily? I hear you've got your third child on the way.
Yeah, we are busy month. That's great. Like it's nice. We are just waiting for the snow to come. It seems that it's kind of a late winter this year, but it will come. And looking forward to start the ski season. And kids are good. Like growing fast. Like time flies.
That's really great to hear, really great to hear. Just for those people that are new to trail running and have probably been asleep for the last 20 years, in case they don't know who you are, I just thought we'd start by positioning you as an athlete and talking about some of your greatest achievements. And this is a real test now of my memory and being a big Kilian Jornet fan. I mean, I've got to start with UTMB. 4-time winner of UTMB, also former record holder. You were the first man to go under 20 hours in 2022, that's correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one so far. That's 1-6. Yeah. And then moving on to the other, what I consider to be the big three. So you've won Western States twice.
No, one time win and one time third. Yeah.
Okay, almost
Long
perfect.
time ago. That was like in the 2020 and 2011.
Yeah, I can see the big difference. But you got the win. That's the most important thing. And then Hard Rock. 5 times?
Yeah.
Back on track, you see. Yeah, so I mean, it's not often that people win any of all those big races, but to win all 3, I mean, that's the hat trick, isn't it? That's one of the big goals of anybody's trail running career, to get all 3.
Well, I think it's it just like comes naturally. I think like that those races like stand up for different reasons, and as an athlete, probably you want to compete on those, like to have different experiences, and of course some like fit me better, like because I train more in the mountains. So like Hard Rock, it's probably easier to train for than like a Western or that. But at the end, you want to compete on the races and just like try to experience the different cultures also, because they are culturally very different. And I got lucky and I'm probably did the work to win all the 3.
Yeah, it's an amazing achievement. And then you add to that Zagama 11 times. Wow, that's correct, yeah? Yeah.
Well, it was my first big win in trail running, like when I was still like in high school.
Yeah.
And and it's a race I love, like the ambience, the atmosphere. It's unique. It's no place like that.
It's a reason you go back every year, isn't it, to do that race time and time again?
Yeah, it's family right now. Like it's just to go there and just like organizers are like my extended family, and it just like the race is brutal, it's beautiful, and just like the ambience, like it's something that you want to experience being either a spectator or runner. It's like the Alpe d'Huez in Tour de France.
And then you've also won Sierre-Zinal 10 times. Is that correct? Yeah. You have, by the way, I didn't mention you have the record as well for Sierre-Zinal and for Zagama as well, don't you?
Yeah, so. Well, like guys are going fast, so I need to keep going faster. Yeah.
You're still going fast, Kilian. You're still going fast. It's good to see as well, especially you repping it for the old guys as well. I mean, I'm 43 now, and you're 37, and I don't have the excuse anymore of being old, because you're still winning these huge races, and after 2-3 decades of being at the top, you're still winning, and you're still really out there. Because when I watched you this year at Zagama, you beat El Hussein, who many consider to be the best short to mid distance trail runner in the world. You beat him by 8 minutes, over 8 minutes, and that was a real marker that you laid down there. You looked incredible that day.
It was a nice day. Like I felt good. I prepared well, but it's still improving year after year. And I think having guys like when I grow up, like Ricardo Mejia, like he was like 40 some and still like winning Sierre-Zinal and like placing like a top 50. He was still like doing ridiculous times there. And guys like that, or we saw like Ludo Pomne winning like a Hard Rock at 40, almost 50 years old. So like that's good inspiration to say, okay, guys, it's not an excuse. Like you just need to show up and keep training well. Yeah.
And a couple more achievements I wanted to mention was also the Skyrunner series across different distances. I think, are you 10 times champion in Skyrunner, I think?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I don't know. I think,
I will call that. We'll call that a definite fact there. Yeah, I did have a quick look just to check, and you were definitely. And then you also had that your world ski mountaineering champion 4 times, I think, as well.
Yeah. A few years like now. I started racing in ski mountaineering. That was my main sport when I grew up. And then I started actually running as a training for ski mountaineering, and then for many years I was doing both seasons at kind of same mindset, and now when living in Norway, ski mountaineering, it's so much down in Europe that it's a bit hard training. So I haven't done many races in the past years, but it's still in winter is what I do every day. Yeah,
and I imagine both complement each other really well in terms of the training. So when you're coming out of a ski mountaineering season, you're almost ready then to go on the trails because you've built up that stamina, that strength, that endurance, and vice versa. If you're running throughout the summer, you're going into the ski mountaineering season in good form and good health.
Yeah, I think ski mountaineering, it gives you the base, and when it comes to aerobic capacity, it's just one of the best sports ever to build that and to build muscle strength. Then of course you need to adapt the legs to run, and the first weeks after the ski season are hard for the legs. But you build the endurance for anything on the summer. And I think also cross training, it can be skiing or cycling or cross country skiing. It's just good for having a long career, I believe, to let some muscles to rest and to prevent injuries. Look how cool it is, this, huh? It's wonderful.
And just looking back on those achievements, and I know I've not mentioned everything, I just picked out a few highlights. Which would you say stands out the most? Which are you most proud of in terms of the races?
I would say tomorrow, always tomorrow, looking forward for what's next. No, I think mostly I'm proud of having a diverse career, seasons where I focus only on one kind of races. I even if I succeed well, I might feel a bit unhappy because I like to do long and short, and some BKs and very long distance, and some more steep skiing or mountaineering. So I think I'm proud to be able to move in the mountains, okay, no matter what distance or terrain it is.
Yeah. And do you think this is how you've managed to stay so prominent across all the sports over the last, sort of 2 or 3 decades, just by able to move in the mountains, as you say, and dip into trail running, dip into ski mountaineering, hike if you need to, walking, just everything combined has helped to make you the athlete that you are, and you're able to stay at that top level?
Yeah, I think at the beginning, I love moving in the mountains. I love mountains and running, skiing, climbing. Those are only tools to move in the mountains. So we just what I do is it's walk in the mountains. That's what I do. Then the tools I use are the different sports. But I think that's how I see it. And then I'm competitive, so I want to progress, and I want to improve my performance. So then it's trying to fine tune a bit more for each kind of discipline. But then it's all the same for me, just to be in the mountains.
So I think, Kilian, one thing that really impresses me, and it's not just talking about the longevity of your career over the last 2 or 3 decades, but the fact you're able to race over multiple distances and such varied distances. So from VK, for example, right up to a 100-miler, and you could do a race tomorrow and no doubt you'd either win it or you'd be in the top 3 for both of those things. So how do you manage that? I mean, that is pretty incredible. There can't be many people in the world who can do that.
Yeah, well, I think it's to not think about tomorrow, but not think about that you will succeed on a short period of training to achieve that, but to think on the big picture, to think on the long time, because I have the backpack with the experience, and the experience is not only how to manage races, but on the biology and the muscles and on the metabolism to be able to do these long races. That's something that it's built over years, and then I can focus on the short term on getting very fast for short races, knowing that I don't need to train the specifics for the long. So like training during every year for many years, the different needs, it makes possible that at some point I'm able to run all the different distances in a few weeks without really compromising the performance in any of them.
You can switch in and out. You're just a complete athlete in that sense, aren't you? You know, you've kind of covered all the bases over the years.
Trying to.
I mean, how also do you fit everything in? Because we talked before, you know, you're expecting your third child. You're here doing this interview now with me. You're trying to train, you're trying to race. How does a man fit all of these things in? It must be more of a challenge now. You're so famous on and off the trail.
Oh, well, I would say it's compromising and saying no to many things. To knowing what are the priorities, and I know that first, like we want to spend time with family. So for example, this year I have been traveling to Zegama and to Sierre-Zinal and Sierre-Zinal and the Alps, and then now we are doing a bit of a press tour. But those are the only travels of the year. So like I have been like home all the time, like except in total for 1 month that we have been doing races. Like we have been home, so we have been spent time with family, and I have not done any. If you do a lot of press things or conferences or things like that, they can be very good for either the economics, or like how we earn money as athletes, or like how we get out in the world, but it takes a lot of time from training and from like keeping life simple. That it's key as an athlete. So first is like to understand that and to make life around this, and then it's how we organize the week. Like for example, I train when the girls are at the kindergarten. So like from 9 to 3 I can train and I do my sessions there, what I need to do, and then like the rest of the time I want to be present with them. When in the weekends I do very short sessions when they are sleeping, and then like I'm playing with them. I don't want to be. I want to live what I'm doing, because if not, I'm playing with the girls, thinking about I should do this session after and how to compromise that time. So no, it's like if I want to do things well, like I need to have time for everything, and if I don't have time for something, I say no. And same with work, like with NNormal, like my role there is in the board and then on the product, and it's the things I love. So when I do things, like I do a run, and sometimes it can be compromising, of course, like I have an easy run and have a meeting like on my earphones, but if it's a key session, that I will be completely different. So I think it's
about striking the
getting
balance.
Around.
I know you've always been a fan of like personal projects. When you were with Salomon, you were doing the Summits of My Life, and I used to watch all of those videos. They were super interesting, like incredible. Again, we didn't mention those in the achievements, but they were fantastic achievements in themselves. And last year you embarked on another personal project. It was Into the Unknown, literally, where you basically ran the full length of the Pyrenees. What was the connection there and the motivation behind doing this particular project?
Yeah, it was. Kind of the story behind it was pretty funny, because like last year I went to an expedition in Malaya, and I broke a rib in an avalanche. So when I came back, I was a bit like injured, so I couldn't train as I wanted. So when I could train, I started to train a lot and to start to put like 200 Ks weeks like very, very soon. And I got injured, so like all the races I planned to do in the summer, I couldn't do it. And that was great in the long term, because if not, I wouldn't do the Pyrenees. It was much more meaningful at the end and do some races that I have already done. So like I was injured and I was fit because I was able to climb and to cycle. So I was in good fitness, and it was the end of the season. I was like, it's not any race that is really appealing me to do. And I needed to go down to Spain. I needed to drive a car from Norway to Spain, so I needed to do that travel. And I was like, okay, what can I do? And the Pyrenees is a mountain range where I grew up, where I was born in a mountain hut there, and I had been like all my childhood, like we were climbing all these summits and doing all these crossings with my parents, and so it's kind of my home mountains, but on a way that I had not been living in or like really touching the Pyrenees for 20 years, because I was living in the Alps and now in Norway. So it was home, but it felt like really as a place that I didn't know. So it was nice to think about a project to get to know back the Pyrenees. And then it was this trying to find a line that I could link like all the 3,000 meter summits on one very long push.
It did look amazing on Strava, by the way.
No, that's the aesthetics of that. It's probably stupid, but it's something that I really enjoy it. And that was kind of the seed of the project.
I mean, it was an incredible watch. We hosted the film premiere at SportsShoes, the UK film premiere, should I say. There was a moment actually after we'd shown the film where you were dialing in to answer questions, and for the 2 minutes where I was waiting for the call, I thought, please dial in, and you did. I think you saved my job, by the way, so thank you for dialing in, but you were brilliant. You really engaged with the people that watched the film, and one thing that I think that we all took from that was the fact that you really are able to normalise incredible things, that almost to a superhuman level. But also I think it was the first time where we'd actually seen, I wouldn't say weakness, but a little bit of human.
It was completely destroyed.
It humanised you.
And
we saw some emotion there, and there was a moment where you were almost about to complete the challenge. You were in tears, and I think we were all in tears. Honestly, I was moved, like genuinely, and it was nice to see you being kind of humbled as well by the mountains, and just reminding us that you are just human after all, although you do these incredible things. So we could see the effort that you've gone to. I mean, it must have been very emotional for you.
Yeah, no, it was hard because I didn't know what to expect actually, because it was very short time. Like I thought about the idea, and that was like that was in September, middle of September. So I started thinking, and I told the team I was going to try that like literally 10 days before.
Wow.
Because I didn't in 2 weeks I kind of say, okay, let's think about something to make it. So it was very short term, and then I didn't look really what it was. I didn't know if it was like a very stupid idea, or if it was feasible. So every day I was like encountering a lot of surprises, and when you are fresh, it's fun. When you are completely destroyed and you have been like walking, climbing, running for 30 hours, and you think, okay, in 5 hours I come to the hut and I can sleep, and then you go to the ridge, it's like, oh, it's not going to be 5 hours, it's going to be like 10 more hours. Then you are like, oh, that's hard. So like playing with these emotions and like to accepting that at the end, it was hard, but that's what makes it fun at the end. Yeah,
it was an incredible journey, and actually you can watch the film now, I think, on YouTube. That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So if anybody hasn't seen the film, you can find it pretty easily. This year you had a similar project called Alpine Connections, which you've already mentioned. You were in Europe, and you did this incredible challenge. I mean, I didn't think you could top the Pyrenean journey, but just talk to us a little bit about Alpine Connections and the kind of idea behind that and what that involved.
Yeah, it was a very simple idea to link all the 4,000 meter summits in the Alps, but that came actually after the Pyrenees. Before the Pyrenees, I couldn't imagine it to do it that way, and because when I was living in the Alps, like 10 years ago, I could think about, okay, I want to link the Couronne Imperiale, that is most of the 4,000 meter peaks in the Valais in Switzerland, or to do like a link up in Chamonix, like to do Bruyère Ridge and Jurasses. Those things were like, wow, that's a big project, I want to do that, and that felt like overwhelming at that time. And some I tried, some I did, some I thought, or I knew that it was out of my reach, of my capacities. But then, like after doing things in Norway and some more things in the Alps when I was going down, and then it looked a bit technically more feasible. And then after the Pyrenees, it was the moment I realized, okay, it's not about doing these different projects I had in the Alps, but it can be possible to find one line to link all of them like on one go. Which it meant like it was this philosophy of going for one push mentality, but that could last for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So that was kind of what made it like very exciting, and then I also knew what was I knew what to expect after the Pyrenees, like and I managed it. Like in the Pyrenees I lost 7 kilos.
Wow.
On 1 week, or like in 8 days. So like I was just degrading every day.
Yeah.
So here in the Alps, like I changed like a bit the strategy on nutrition and on that, and it was day and night. Like I finished, and then like, the last days I was feeling good. I could like push hard, and I didn't lose a single kilo like from Jersey now to then. So that was probably like how learning happens. Yeah.
With that in mind, do you think it was? Is easier the right word to say? Was it easier than the Pyrenean challenge, or because I think maybe from the learnings, like you obviously adapted to that kind of challenge. Yeah. It's a wrong word to use, I know. Yeah.
No, it was harder in most of the ways, I would say. The hard thing in the Pyrenees, it was that we called the film Into the Unknown, because I didn't know what I was going to expect the next day. And that was the hard thing, to not know what was going to be, if it was long, if it was technical, if it was not. So that was the difficulty in the Pyrenees at the end. And in the Alps, the thing is like, it was longer and it was much more days, it was 19 days. Physically, it was probably similar, but of course longer a bit, the altitude too, that it's there. But technically, it was harder technically, and especially conditions like in the Pyrenees. It was kind of not many risks from the mountains. It was more like, okay, if I do a technical fault, I can fall and die, but it's not going to happen something very strange. That in the Alps it was glaciers involved, with a lot of glacier navigation alone, and a lot of climbing on terrain that is very unstable because of the permafrost melting. So those two things were big things, and the glaciers I choose to do end of the season to be dry, so it was I could see more where the crevasses are, but that also meant that on the other side all the rock was much more unstable, so I had like the most difficult, it was the journeys where for like 8-10 hours, like I was on a terrain that everything was falling, so it's mentally you are like fully concentrated for 20 hours, and every step you don't know if you are going to make it, not because of you only, but because the environment is just like having a lot of collapses. So all besides the physical energy, all the mental energy, it's huge. Yeah,
it sounds incredible, and I mean the planning that's involved, before and during is just off the scale, isn't it? I mean, wow, yeah. And are we going to expect to see this next year in a film?
We are working on things. Like we have been filming. It was the same people that was in the Pyrenees, the two cameramans there, and it was also Nick that was editing the film in the Pyrenees, that they were also in the Alps catching up. I had also my GoPro with me, so yeah, we have a lot of stuff there, so hopefully we can make something.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this, very much so. So we can maybe host the film premiere for the UK again.
Yeah, absolutely,
We'll talk next year. Now I want to move on to NNormal. Okay, so you were obviously with Salomon for a very long time, and you made the break a couple of years ago, I think now. Could you just tell us a bit more, for the customers that perhaps in the UK aren't aware of NNormal or don't know much about it, just a bit more about the brand itself, the idea behind setting up the brand and the philosophy that is attached to it?
Yeah, mostly, like I have always been very geeky about gear, and like I have been like drawing prototypes and making, changing things in the backpacks or in the shoes, or like for many years. So I have always been very interested on designing and all that. But and it was always in one part of the brain, like this idea of like, let's make a brand. But that's like, it was something that I thought that it will never happen, because one thing is to have an idea, and then another thing is to create something, and it's very complicated from many different angles. But then like just got like in contact with Flusha family, that is the owners of Camper, which is a shoe company from Mallorca. And we were like, I got to meet them, and we were talking, and we realized that we were sharing kind of the same values. And not really, like, we didn't talk product actually. We were just talking like on like, yeah, what's the role of companies on society and on the planet, and we were very aligned on that, and that's something that we said yes, just we start doing something together, and then it came we start it came normal with this this philosophy. It's like we love running, we love going to the mountains, and we need products for doing that. Like from the beginning, like we as animals, we have some very good things. Like we have a brain that is amazing, so we can communicate, we can like work together and build communities, but like physically, we are pretty useless. Like we need clothes because we get cold. We need shoes because our feet are not made to
explore these environments as well.
So like anyway, we need the gear, and it's how we can make this gear on a way that it has a low impact, and that comes in our vision, like on making durability at the
very hard.
The centrum, like to make products that they are durable and that you can repair. So like that's hopefully that's our contribution to the industry.
Yeah, I can completely understand. And you have made products that are built to last, and I've tested quite a few of those. Actually, I've brought some in with me today. I thought we could delve into the range. It's a very small and focused range at the moment. It's growing. Let's start with the Tamir, actually. So, in fact, just to go back as well to the name NNormal, it's a fusion between Norway and Mallorca. You're based in Norway, and the shoes are designed by Camper in Mallorca, where Camper is based.
So it's a bit like, also like it's a bit playing with the irony of like, it's Norway, Mallorca, but also it's normal. So it's so. We are normal people doing normal things.
Or in your case, extraordinary things.
But it's normal people and normal things. And then also like the double N is like for no normal. So like we want at the future like that things that maybe today are not normal to become normal. So that's our way to think.
I like it. And I have with me here the Tamir, which
is the Tamir,
it's named actually after the highest peak in the Serra di Tramontana, the mountain range in Mallorca. This is more for the kind of everyday runner, would you say? How would you position this?
So that shoe, it's mostly like a shoe that wants to last. That's our shoe that it's like, we want a shoe that it's very usable, so like people can use in many different activities, from running, long distance, technical, like that it adapts to kind of any distance, any terrain, somehow, and that it's built to last, and that's the kind of the brief on the shoe, and mostly it's a shoe that personally I use mostly on long runs when I want to go in different terrains. I use that on the Alps. Actually, when I was doing the project in the Alps, I used 2 pairs of this one, the waterproof, and one not waterproof. Like it was a good test on durability, because then like the conditions I was climbing on crags and on that. But it's mostly the shoe that it's made for like any running activity that you want to do in the outdoors. No matter the terrain, no matter the distance. It's the shoe that we built for that.
And it also has the most cushioning in the range. It's the highest stack.
It has high stack.
And at the moment, at present, the deepest lug, it's a 5mm lug, isn't it? So it's great for pretty much anything across, hard and rocky and into the soft and muddy kind of terrain. So very versatile.
It has the Vibram, so like a mega grip that it's in terms of grip, it's great. And we wanted to have this variability on terrains, like to have a pretty big lugs with a bit of a space in between, so the mud can shed, but also like that it has a lot of surface to have good grip on the rock. So like so far with the grip, we are very, very happy with the material and with the shape of the sole.
Yeah, it's a great shoe, isn't it, that one? Great shoe. That's actually our best seller at Sports Shoes, but ironically, the one I really love is the Chirag. Now, did I pronounce
I love it too. It's my racing shoe for anything, yeah.
As you said, it's a great shoe to race in, but also to train in as well. And I think what I personally really love about a shoe, and it's very rare you get this, is that it's quite minimal, but it's got lots of cushioning in there as well. So that blend of cushioning and close to ground feel
on this
perfect.
kind of you have the feeling of like being close to the soil. So you have this.
It's the balance of the two,
balance,
isn't it?
and it's when you run like the stability, it's very, very good, but you still have this cushion and this reactivity, and then like it's also like we wanted to have a good grip, like same like with Vibram and with this lux distribution, but also like we wanted a shoe that it's a very light shoe, like it's 200 grams in my size, and but we wanted to make a racing shoe that is durable, because one thing that I don't want to have like a racing shoe that is disposable. I wanted a racing shoe that we can, like, first year I was doing hard rock, Zegama hard rock, Original UTMB with the same pair of shoes and training with. So wanted that a shoe that for me that is light, I can run any distance with it. It's probably more fitted for like shorter races, marathons, or like longer races where you want to run fast, but that it keeps this durability. So like having like the full sole, that it's not like only pieces, and the matrix upper. I think we reached to have the light shoe with that keeps durable.
It's worth mentioning as well, 2022, you did Zegama in the shoe and Zinal, and you set the record for both, I think, didn't you? Is that right?
Zegama, yes. I did the record actually in Zegama, Hard Rock, and UTMB that year. Wow. Zinal, I got COVID, and I raced with COVID, so I finished third or fourth.
Yes, I remember now. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, but no, I mean, an amazing shoe. It's just fantastic for racing, and it's been a staple choice within my kind of armoury this year. And if I had to pick an all-round shoe, this would probably be it. 3.5 mil lug, which does mean that you can't go into the really soft and muddy stuff, but I mean, what a fantastic all-round shoe.
I use it every day, like for scrambling, for running fast, like my reps, like on road running, like it has the cushioning for it, so like it's.
I mean, the only way to improve the shoe would be to put, for me in the UK, a deeper lug on this. I know we're not allowed to talk about this particular thing because I think you're going to have a new addition to the range next year. But should we just say that something big is coming?
We are working on things. We are working on things. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. But anybody who runs in the UK, runs in Scandinavia, needs a shoe with a deeper lug on, watch this space. That's all we'll say for that, because something is coming. And speaking of something coming, we also have a new addition to the range, which is the Caboche.
Caboche, yeah.
This is a modular shoe which actually has 3 midsoles. You have a pair on as well, I can see.
I have this,
In fact, this,
you can see like it's...
this one is without, so this one is without the midsole. So the midsole sits inside the shoe, this is how much it squashes down. I mean, it's essentially just the upper and the outsole are connected, they're all stitched together, fully stitched, and then you add the midsoles inside. This one has already got one in, so it holds its shape and its form. Just talk to us a bit more about this shoe and the different types of midsoles that you can swap and change.
It's hard to call it a shoe because it's more like an idea.
Yeah.
And the idea comes on like footwear today. It's basically it's been the same for many years since the industrialization of footwear, and it's that we have different pieces that we glue together. We know how to do that, and we know how to make that on an industrial way. We were thinking how we can make footwear on a way that it can adapt to every person, different needs. Like we have different needs. Like some people have more weight, or they want a different activity. They do long races, short races, and different terrain. So how can we think a shoe that can adapt to these different needs of everybody? And then on another point of view, how we can build the shoe industrially on a way that can last like forever, on a way that we can replace everything like all the time. That shoes now they can be very durable, and we can repair. Like we can change the sole, we can have like a knit on the upper. We can stitch. We can put glue, patches, but still like it has an end life, and it was on the idea of like how we can really have a shoe that we can change pieces forever. And we started thinking and starting doing prototypes, and the first thing that we have made on this idea, it's ongoing, is the caboose. So like and it came like what can be the most simple thing to adapt from people to people, and that's the midsole. So having different midsoles with different materials and different properties that people can change either during the run or like when recovering to running fast. It's our first baby on this way to think. We want to be footwear in 10-15 years. So it's just a futuristic concept, an idea, isn't it?
It's a concept, and actually, just talking about the name as well, I mean, we have the Tamir, which is the highest peak in the Serra di Tramontana, as we mentioned, the Chirag, which is a peak in Norway, it's a famous peak, and talk to us about the name caboose.
Yeah, so that's also like playing a bit with the ironies, like boix in Catalan and in Mallorca, it means both boix, that it's a tree that it's very old and it's very robust, and at the same time it's boix, which it means crazy, and in an expression it's keboch, it means what a crazy thing. So it's our remind that even if we know how to do things well, sometimes we need to think outside the box and not be afraid of going outside of our comfort zone to do things differently, because it will lead to other places. And to start that, we need to start with crazy ideas. That in the future it will bring us to have a different vision of our world.
It's an incredible concept, one that I've actually been involved in testing as well. That's why I have a pair. I love the idea. I love the fact that you can put 3 different midsoles into a shoe. They're all different. We've got a reactive, we've got soft, and the other is the bouncy. Yeah. So I mean, I've really enjoyed like switching them in and out and trying them on different terrains, different surfaces. And I think it really fits nicely with the whole philosophy and the ideals that NNormal hold, don't it?
No, exactly. This way to go outside of the box, and then just to think that it just the possibilities are endless with this kind of concept.
Yeah. So I mean, great range of products. This one actually is available, I think now. It's about to hit the market.
Now,
It's timed perfectly. So if anybody's interested, that one is one to watch out for. And coming back to you then, Kilian, I mean, we've talked about product now. What does the future hold for you? I mean, we've just had Alpine Connections. I'm assuming you need a bit of a break now, and obviously Emily's expecting...
I took a good break after,
And Emily's expecting your 3rd child, as we mentioned. So are you going to pick up a project next year, or maybe back to racing? What's on the horizon for you in the kind of short to mid-term?
Yeah, like as I mentioned at the beginning, like I like to do a bit of everything and fill seasons with different things, and I want to do some racing, because it's just a very easy way to have a carrot to take hard. It's that's racing today for me, probably just this carrot there, but it's a very important thing to keep motivated to train. So I will see like everything will depend on the logistics with the baby comes and how that, but I would like to do some long distance running on races, and then like some project like what I did in the Pyrenees and in the Alps. It really inspired me. Maybe something a bit maybe this year a bit less risk taking than the Alps. It was very nice, but I think I want to take a bit easier this year on the level, but what I have learned on that, I think it can be very interesting to explore on some kind of similar but different project on that way. And some races, for sure. I haven't decided yet exactly what, and it depends like on the baby, and like some races that I might think like I need to get some qualification for that, so I will see if I can get some ticket, but that will depend on all these things. And
the other question on my lips really is, Are we going to see you back in the UK? I mean, I watched your Bob Graham challenge a few years ago where you took the record in an incredible time. Since then, the record has gone. Is there a view to come back?
Jack
Yeah,
did a
Jack
good time,
took
yeah.
yeah, it's a good time.
No, like it's I think some of my neighbors need to come. In Romsdal, it's Jonathan Albon, Henriette that did the winter one.
Yes,
but,
I saw. Yeah.
They should try that before. No, but I would love to come to do some either races, because it's some races that they are amazing. Like I have done like in Scotland, like Glencoe, all these areas. It's beautiful. And then like one race that I have always dreamt of doing is the Ben Nevis. Like it's one of the pioneering races. I need to do it one time. Like that's for sure. I want to do it at some time. So. Yeah, I don't know when. Like we need to figure a lot of things out with logistics and family, but yeah, absolutely, it's one of the things. Music
to our ears. Yeah, I mean, to see you at Ben Nevis would be something. Yeah, you're going up against Finlay as well, because
how many? Like it's been like 10, 15 years already.
I think
like,
so. Yeah, nobody can get.
He's a machine there.
Close,
so I need to put some pressure
do some
on him.
homework as well. I think he's got some sneaky lines as well.
I'm sure. Yeah,
a little bit of practice, I reckon, of the where to run. But that'd be great to see you in the UK. Just want to really sort of finish off, because it has been a fabulous interview, this, but one last thing is, you may or may not have heard of this, but we started a series off Sports Shoes called the Strava Shark series. Yeah. Have you heard of this, no?
I've heard, yeah.
Oh yes, excellent, okay. Now, I feel more like the Strava Tadpole than the Strava Shark when I'm sat next to you, but basically it's a series where we go and attack segments on Strava, try and run them as fast as we can, take them, and usually they kind of have an element of danger, which is right up your street. For me, it's always about the descent. For you, it could be the descent, it could be the climb, it could be anything. I want to chat to you maybe another time about perhaps doing the Strava Shark, and we could maybe come to Norway. We could maybe do it on Chirac.
Yeah. On the Chirac, at Chirac Summit.
What do you think?
That could be good,
that could be good, couldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
and it has some good challenges there, yeah.
And we get the real shark coming in and doing the business.
Nice, yeah.
So yeah, let's talk more about that. So you heard it here first, folks. That would be amazing. Hopefully, Kilian will come to the UK. Potentially even do a Strava Shark segment, so that'd be fantastic. So listen, I just want to finish by saying
we have a
plan, definitely. Just want to say thank you for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure, bit of a lifetime ambition for me to interview you as well. So on a personal level, thank you.
No, thanks for the chat and to everyone that is listening. Hope they get some inspiration to get out and just get close to nature.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks, Kilian. Really appreciate that. And remember, guys, if you enjoyed watching this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at SportsShoes.com.